Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with My Sanity. And to be completely honest with you guys, I did not plan on going live tonight. However, I just finished the Elimination Chamber, and considering what had happened with the craziest heel turn in possibly WWE history outside of Stone Cold Steve Austin, I had to hop on tonight to talk to you guys about what went down, what the happenings were, and what our outlook is going into WrestleMania season. So, kicking off here, guys, elephants out of the bag. I'm assuming everybody has seen at this point, but John Cena has officially sold his soul to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and John Cena is The Rock's champion, question mark, I guess, but he officially turned heel tonight at the end of Elimination Chamber, which was on nobody's bingo card as far as I'm concerned. I have seen a lot of predictions. I had made my own predictions for this show tonight, and I fully 100% with my heart, if I had to put money on tonight's match, I would have said CM Punk is winning. He is going on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and John Cena will face either a Drew McIntyre or Logan Paul or something like that. But that is not what we got. We have gotten John Cena as the winner of the men's elimination chamber match. And right after that, main eventing the show, which also surprised me because what I had seen hours earlier was a match card that had this segment in the middle of the show. So I don't know if this is something that was changed on the fly, if The Rock, Triple H, and Cena got together and were like, hey, let's turn Cena heel tonight and make a huge splash. I know Triple H earlier today was talking about how tonight will change the course of WWE forever. And to be honest with you guys, this has been said so many times throughout so many different pay-per-views slash live events over the years that I come to temper my expectations because yes, I expect good shows from Triple H, which he has given us over the months and years. But tonight, guys, I thought was an absolute fucking grand slam. He knocked it out of the park. And after how many years of wanting a heel John Cena, we finally have heel John Cena going into WrestleMania 2025 season, guys. And I am, if you couldn't already tell, I am very hyped. I'm ecstatic for this. And well, let's get right into it. I mean, we'll start with the men's elimination chamber match because that is the main match that everybody wants to talk about. This was your main event for the night. Right afterwards was slated The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was going to answer The Rock as far as what he wanted to do. The Rock wants Cody Rhodes' soul. If you have watched the last couple episodes of SmackDown, and we all knew, The Rock wants Cody's soul, and we were all expecting some kind of answer, which we did get, but the aftermath of that sequence, guys, I don't think anybody expected. So, the Elimination Chamber match, we have our six contestants, like we talked about last episode. We have our John Cena, we have CM Punk, we have Seth Rollins, we have Damian Priest, we have Logan Paul, and we have Drew McIntyre. So there's your six guys. And to start the match, we had Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins starting out, which makes sense. You have Cena, you have Punk, who are a little bit older, who don't want to take as many crazy bumps throughout the match. Overall, I thought it was a great match. Our final three ended up being Seth Rollins, John Cena, and CM Punk. We got quite a few callbacks with the Cena and Punk rivalry of old, which I thought was great. And the last two ended up being Cena and CM Punk, which was also amazing. And they both, back to back, they hit a go to sleep. CM Punk hit on Seth Rollins, and then John Cena hit the AA, the attitude adjustment, on to Seth Rollins. Punk covered him for the 1, 2, 3. And then we got the John Cena versus CM Punk one-on-one showdown, which, as I had said just a few minutes ago, guys, I fully expected John Cena to lose this match just because I expected them to go the long road. Maybe Cena wins his 17th at SummerSlam. Maybe he wins it later on down the line at Survivor Series this year. Hell, maybe he doesn't win it at all. And the fact that we got John Cena, guys, after Seth Rollins interferes and stomps Punk's face into the grate of the Elimination Chamber, and John Cena comes in, pins him afterwards. Cena is your 2025 Men's Elimination Chamber winner. And I, I can't believe it, guys. I mean, the fact that he won in the way that he did. And then I thought Triple H booked this perfectly. Right after he wins does a little bit of celebrating. Cody Rhodes, the lights go out, and you hear his theme music start. You hear the there's more than one royal family, and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare theme hits, the Kingdom song. He comes out. Then shortly after that, you hear Travis Scott's Fiend hit, and The Rock comes out. And The Rock does not waste any time, guys. He gets right into it. He talks about, hey, Cody Rhodes, The Rock is here for one reason. He's here to get your answer. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Will you be the final boss's champion? Will you be my champion, Cody Rhodes? He says. Will you be my champion? I can give you anything you've ever dreamt of. And while this is all going on, guys, Travis Scott's kind of sitting off in the back with his shitty fucking version of the title, whatever. Who cares about Travis Scott? They have him on there for clout at this point. Nobody gives a fuck about Travis Scott in the WWE. He's in the back. John Cena's back there selling with his facials. And this is all absolute cinema here going on. And if I can paint you guys a picture, while The Rock is asking Cody this, Cody for a second goes, you know what? I've thought about it, and I want what you're offering, Rock. And then he looks at The Rock, and he's like, you know what? He's like, in fact, he's like, The Rock, and he tells The Rock, in his words, not mine, go fuck yourself. And the crowd just absolutely pops, blows the roof off of fucking the arena in Toronto. And John Cena in the background's kind of prancing around. He's going, yes, he defied the big bad. And as you're seeing this, Cody's kind of got a smug look on his face. He's like, yeah, that's right. I stood up to the bully. And you see John Cena kind of start to walk up to Cody Rhodes behind him a little bit. And then The Rock does the gesture with the two fingers on the neck, swipes down. And as I'm watching this live, again, guys, I haven't said this episode, but I have had a few brewskis tonight. I've had a few Steve Weisers. So I am a little bit inebriated, as so to speak. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I'm like, I see the two fingers on the throat and the swipe down. And I'm like, what is he gesturing to? And all of a sudden, John Cena sticks his hand out for a handshake to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes sticks his out to meet him in the middle. And John Cena just absolutely nutshots him. And guys, the crowd and me at the same time just audibly gasped. And I'm like, what in the hell? I am shocked that they did this. I love that they did this. And for once, when they have told us something like, hey, Triple H came out and said this is going to change the course of WWE as you know it. And they actually freaking did it. I mean, a Cena heel turn is something people like myself have wanted for years. And John Cena, I loved John Cena growing up. Huge Cena fan. If you've listened to some of my older episodes, you know that I kind of rocked with Cena ever since I was younger, throughout my teenage years. And as I was growing up, Cena was before I would say the PG era. Cena still had a little bit of edge to him. His finisher was the FU and the STFU before they made Cena go full popcorn, as The Rock would say, Fruity Pebbles, having ass Cena out there with his colored shirts on and cutting corny promos. I was a fan of Cena earlier, like right after the Doctor of Thugonomics, but not still the Doctor of Thugonomics. And guys, I just can't believe they did this. I mean, it's absolute insanity to me, but insanity in the best way, in that nobody, I don't care who you are. If you told me you had this on your bingo card, you are fucking lying. You have a bingo card where you had the fucking answers before anybody else saw what the answers were. You're fucking lying. So don't even tell me in the comments that you had this on your bingo card, because no, you did not. Nobody had John Cena, who only has 9, 10, potentially months left of his WWE career on the table. Nobody had John Cena turning heel and becoming the Rock's champion and the one to take out Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. So this whole segment, guys, 10 out of 10, absolute cinema, as Martin Scorsese says. Well, not says, he didn't actually say it, but as the meme goes, absolute cinema for this segment. I couldn't believe they did it. I mean, Cena, after the nut shot, just got on Cody Rhodes, hit him with brass knuckles a few times. He took the WWE Championship, cracked it over Cody Rhodes' head. Frickin' Cody Rhodes ends up getting color, which I think was absolutely needed. For those of you who say blood is overdone in modern wrestling, if you're an AEW fan, I 100% agree. AEW's the drizzling shits, as I have thought for years, and I have watched it for years, so don't come at me in the comments. AEW has been dog shit for the last few years, and it is something they overdo constantly. Nobody ever cares about blood if you do it on every fucking episode of every fucking TV show you put out. Take notes, Tony Khan, you dumbass motherfucker. So, anyway, guys, this is how it's done. Cody Rhodes, a crimson mask, The Rock and John Cena standing there side by side. John Cena has sold his soul to Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the middle of the ring in Toronto, Canada. And we are officially on the road to WrestleMania, guys. Even though it kicks off after the Royal Rumble, we are officially on the road to WrestleMania here. John Cena is a heel. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a part of the mix. And where does this lead? Obviously, Cena won the chamber. Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It should be your main event at WrestleMania. Does The Rock interfere? Does he get involved? I don't know. He very well could, but I think this might be a thing where Cena versus Cody Rhodes one-on-one is there, but The Rock is also in Cena's corner as kind of the big bad. He's the Thanos to Cena's fucking Doctor Doom, if you will, out there. But this is absolutely outstanding, guys. I mean, of all things, and I've said for months and months, Triple H does not like to do the predictable, i.e., look at Royal Rumble last month. Everybody thought Cena might win that. Jey Uso was given that instead. Charlotte Flair was kind of predictable, but other than that, he does not like to have both matches predictable. He does not like to do the most predictable thing on the card. And the fact that nobody could see this coming, myself included, I'm not going to act like I was not absolutely hoodwinked because, like I said, I was. And the fact that he did this with Cena there, and I don't know how we didn't think of this coming into this, guys, because Cena, I mean, like I said, a lot of people thought Triple H, myself included, would do something different. Cena would be the obvious winner, which he was, and Cena won. And I have, just so you guys know, I have a chat with a couple friends on Facebook, a wrestling group chat where we all kind of talked. And a few of my friends in there were upset that Cena won because they're big CM Punk guys. I love CM Punk too, even though I've always been more of a Cena guy. They were upset that Punk didn't win, and I'm like, hey guys, listen, I think it's a good booking decision. Even if Cena's a face, you still get Cena versus Cody. You can now possibly get Punk versus Rollins again. Possibly, depending on how this next segment goes, you could get The Rock versus Roman, and I was happy with that. And as soon as the heel turn happened, everybody was just like, what the hell? I mean, just absolute insanity. And taking a star the caliber of John Cena, guys, I mean, this is a guy that is literally, to the modern day, he is my Hulk Hogan. He is my Macho Man Randy Savage. He is my Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is the last defining babyface of a generation that was right before Roman Reigns. I mean, Roman Reigns has been the it guy since then, but John Cena was the last megastar that could break through to Hollywood, be in movies like The Suicide Squad, be in TV shows like Peacemaker. He was the last guy that had that kind of mega stardom and that star power to his name. And the fact that they took him and turned him heel with 10 months left of his WWE career is insane. And I think it's a great thing, whether you like it, whether you hate it. I mean, I was happy just to have a babyface John Cena winning the match. I am stoked now to see what a heel John Cena can do with The Rock in the wings. The Rock and John Cena in cahoots versus possibly Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I mean, the opportunities are endless. So I'm freaking out of breath here, guys. I feel like I've been ranting for fucking 20 minutes with no water here. I need to go get some hydration here in a second. But what a moment, what a pay-per-view. And very rarely am I jealous of live crowds and what they get to experience, but holy hell. If I could have been in Toronto tonight knowing what was going to happen, I would have bought a plane ticket. I would have drove the 5.5 hours from Akron, Ohio myself. I would have made sure I had a ticket to this pay-per-view because what we got tonight, guys, was nothing short of a fucking 10 out of 10 perfect premium live event / pay-per-view. So, with that said, we will quickly get into the other matches because this was the biggest thing of the night. This is the biggest thing in the last 20 fucking years, 25 years in WWE history, guys. John Cena turning heel. And we will get into the other matches. We'll start off with the tag match, which, as I said in my previews, nobody really cared that much. The crowd was kind of mild with this. Honestly, Trish Stratus didn't get as big of a reaction as I thought she would. It was Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton, our WWE Women's Champion, versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, and the latter could have been the reason why they didn't get a big reaction. Nia Jax, nobody really gives a shit about, to be honest with you, and Candice LeRae. Although I like Candice LeRae, she just has not been used in a prominent enough role to really warrant people caring that much about her situation. However, it was a good match overall. Nothing really insane happened here as this followed the women's elimination chamber, which kicked off the show, but it was fine. Tiffany Stratton, as I thought she should have, she got the pinfall. She hit the prettiest moonsault ever on Nia Jax and got the 1, 2, 3. So Tiffany Stratton and not Liv, God fucking, sorry guys. As I said, I've had a few drinks. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus won the tag team match in Trish Stratus's home country of Canada. So decent little match here. This was the weakest match of the night by far. After this, guys, we did get Cody, fucking God, excuse me again. We got Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in an unsanctioned match. And the thing I thought was very cool about this, outside of the crazy spots they had, was the fact that they completely dimmed the lights. They had the lights on. If you guys have ever been to a live WWE show before, they have the big circular ring of lights around the ring that goes, it's about, I want to say like 30, 25, 30 something feet in the air, but it surrounds the ring. They had dimmed those lights, dimmed the lights in the crowd, and really made this feel like it was an unsanctioned match. Like Adam Pearce had said, I'm not going to sanction this match. This is not going to be on the record books. If you guys want this, you're going to have a fight. It's not going to be something I approve of. It's not going to be something Nick Aldis approves of on SmackDown. It is going to be something that is between you two, and it's going to be personal. So I like the fact that they gave it a little bit of flair there with the lights being dimmed. And this match, guys, was the best match of the night as far as an in-ring performance. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn always deliver. They are both in their home country of Canada, and they beat the absolute piss out of each other all night. Kevin Owens, as he always does, took some crazy bumps. Sami Zayn, excuse me, at one point came in with a chair wrapped in barbed wire, and he hit Kevin Owens over the back with that a couple times. And before that, I believe it was, they had two tables set out on the outside of the ring, stacked on top of one another, and Sami Zayn was flipped off the turnbuckle through the two tables. And then after that, Sami Zayn got the chair wrapped in barbed wire, came into the ring, cracked Kevin Owens a couple times with it, and then he took two chairs, set up the chair with barbed wire in the middle of it, and then hit a Blue Thunder bomb on Kevin Owens, guys. And the freaking pop from the crowd this got, and me, just absolute brutal. And I know Kevin Owens is a guy that typically wrestles in a cutoff or a tank top or something of that nature, which he did tonight. And he came out and had the cutoff on. Even though he had that on still, guys, he took a couple hellacious bumps. I mean, took the absolute nastiest, one of the nastiest bumps, I should say, that I've ever seen. He hit him with the 1, 2. Kevin Owens kicked out. And then after that, Kevin Owens just gets to work on Sami Zayn and starts beating the crap out of him. He freaking hits him with a nasty fisherman's buster through a table in the middle of the ring, which Sami Zayn kicks out of. There was a really good false finish earlier in the match, too, where Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, it looked like, was lining up to hit one of Sami's patented haluva kicks. And instead, Sami Zayn explodes out of the corner, kicks Kevin Owens in the other corner, hits him with a 1, 2. And then at the end of the match, as I said, guys, Kevin Owens beat the absolute dog crap out of Sami Zayn, hit him with a couple power bombs on the apron, was ragdolling him around a bit, and then he eventually rolled him in and got the pinfall victory. So Kevin Owens was victorious here, which, outside of my predictions, guys, I think I had amended earlier today. I amended my picks, and I ended up going 4 for 4 after I looked at the match. I'm like, there's no way all four baby faces are going to win. So I changed my pick from Sami Zayn in my video 2 days ago to Kevin Owens today. And Kevin Owens did win. Not to brag on that or anything, but Kevin Owens did, after that, ended up celebrating for a second and then going over to the front of the ring out where the ramp ends. And then he pulled up the rubber matting there and acted like he was about to give Sami Zayn a pile driver on the concrete, when all of a sudden you hear, I hear voices in my head, they talk to me. Understand if they talk to me. And frickin' Randy Orton comes out, huge pop. I mean, blows the roof off of the place in Toronto. And Randy Orton, if you know me personally, and we've talked wrestling before, Randy Orton's one of my goats. He's one of my greatest of all time. He's in my top 5. Hell, he may be in my top 3. This is a guy that I've loved for years. As a kid, this guy was my Roddy Piper. This guy was the heel. He was the bad guy. He was an absolute menace. A guy that was kicking people in the head. He kicked John Cena's dad in the head, punted Randy Orton punted Vince McMahon, excuse me, in the head. He was out here freaking ending people's careers. He kicked Shawn Michaels in the head. And this was a guy that was the best heel of his generation outside of CM Punk, in my opinion. And his entrance here was badass as always. Randy Orton's absolutely shredded. He came through the curtain, looked into the camera, and just the intensity in the eyes of Randy Orton, guys. Every time he comes out, he lives that persona. He is the Viper. He is a badass. He came out there, gave a couple good licks with the right hand to Kevin Owens, hit him with an RKO, and then this. If you've been following what's been happening recently, this is perfectly setting up for Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41 this year. This was another chef's kiss. Couldn't have booked it better myself. Perfect match, perfect afterbirth with everything that had happened afterwards. Randy Orton's back, and great segment overall, guys. So we have covered the men's chamber. We have covered this amazing 5-star match, in my opinion, and we covered the tag match. Last thing we're going to touch on here is the women's elimination chamber match, which, as touched on in our last video, you had the lovely Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss. We had Bianca Belair. We had Naomi. We had Bayley, and we had my underdog dark horse favorite, Roxanne Perez, in there. And this was another very, very good match, guys. If I had to pick standouts, I would say Liv Morgan, number one. She took a beating. She took that crazy whip across the chest, i.e. Sasha Banks from WrestleMania, 37, I think it was, a few years back. That was absolutely crazy. You heard it on the broadcast. It was absolutely brutal. Liv Morgan worked her ass off. Roxanne Perez, who I thought would put on a show, put on a damn show out there. Granted, she didn't last as long as I thought she would. I thought she would become runner-up in this again like she was in the Rumble. She went out after the first two, after Naomi and the other, I think it was Bayley, got eliminated next. So after Naomi and Bayley got dropped, Roxanne was next, which I thought she would last a little bit longer. But for the time she was in there, she killed it, had a couple really good spots. Roxanne just has the intensity of someone that can work her ass off. She reminds me of Bayley in a lot of ways. I know she has talked about how Bayley over the years has been a big influence to her, and I can 100% see that in the way that she wrestles and goes out there, just with her intensity and everything she brings to the table. So kudos to Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair. Some great spots there. Bianca came in, had a couple really awesome spots. Alexa Bliss did well. I was surprised she wasn't one of the final two again. It ended up being Liv and Bianca, and Liv sold her ass off for the KOD that ended up giving Bianca the win in the end. But Alexa Bliss did hit a DDT, and after that, she got pinned by Liv Morgan. She got rolled up by Liv, and it looked like Bianca's hair was kind of in the mix there. So I don't know if she was using Bianca's hair for leverage to help pin Alexa Bliss, but they are clearly setting up a Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan possible WrestleMania feud. And Bianca Belair goes on to win the match. And as far as we know here, guys, it's looking like Rhea Ripley, because after the match and Bianca was on the entranceway, Rhea Ripley came out, and then Io Sky came out because they're still hyping up Monday Night Raw's match between Io and Rhea. But let's be honest here, guys. Rhea's not fucking losing to Io Sky. It's going to be a Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 41. And the fact that we are getting that mega matchup that we have wanted for years, I just hope the build is good. I hope we do not lose the women's feuds and builds in the loss of the shuffle to a John Cena heel turn, which should be the focal point. John Cena and Cody Rhodes should be the main thing you're focusing on, because Cena being heel again in his last year is just freaking incredible and something nobody expected will happen. So they need to put a lot of emphasis on that. They need to continue building the Jay versus Gunther match. We need to see some good stuff now between Rhea and Bianca Belair after Rhea inevitably retains on Monday Night Raw. And overall, guys, as I've said on the last couple episodes, the build to WrestleMania, in my opinion, has not been great. Tonight, just kick this shit into next gear. I think the build now should be amazing. You have a heel John Cena, who I don't know if he's going to be on Monday Night Raw this week, but I know he's slated to be on a lot of shows back to back coming up in the middle of March for the European tour. So expect to see heel John Cena coming out and talking about what his intentions were, why he sided with The Rock. I don't know how much we're going to see of The Rock now that John Cena's there. I mean, let's be honest, guys. John Cena doesn't need The Rock as a mouthpiece. Arguably, I think John Cena's a better heel than The Rock. I mean, Rock and John Cena are 1A and 1B, but as far as a guy that just riffs and does promos off the top of his head as opposed to a guy that clearly needs bullet points or writes his promos down on his wrist. The Rock's last couple promos have seemed very long-winded and very, what the fuck are we doing here? Let's get to the point. You're talking about, I'm the final boss. Cody Rhodes, you're going to be The Rock's champion. Cody Rhodes, the final boss, wants you to be his champion. He just says the same shit in different ways and wastes fucking 10 to 15 minutes of every program, it seems like. And I'm not here to just shit on The Rock, guys. I am a huge Dwayne Johnson fan, always have been. Loved him growing up. But this is something I've noticed ever since he came out of his feud with Cody, especially this year, where it's like, man, The Rock comes out, he's talking like a babyface, he's talking like a heel. What are we doing here? Like, if you're on TV, you have to play one or the other. Don't play both sides. Like, we get that this is all a fixed outcome and a work, but do not do both on TV. You're still here to engage in storylines and set the precedence and story for what we are doing going forward into WrestleMania. So don't come out and frickin' be there and be confusing fans with what you're saying and then saying, I'm going to take your soul, blah, 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 even though it ended up being very good. And they ended up doing the best possible thing with that, with John Cena, a longtime rival, being there and being the one that lines with The Rock. And The Rock could possibly become Dwayne The Rock, or not The Rock, and John Cena could possibly become Dwayne The Rock Johnson's champion at WrestleMania. I mean, what a cool moment there, guys. I just hope we can keep this up going into the WrestleMania season. As far as I know, we do not have any more pay-per-views coming out of this, but I will be here for Monday Night Raw for you guys. I did think about hopping on after SmackDown last night because SmackDown was killer last night as well. I thought it was a hell of a go-home show before the pay-per-view. But coming out of this show, guys, best pay-per-view of the year, and people are going to be talking about this for a long, long time. John Cena is a bad guy. John Cena is a heel. He has aligned himself with The Rock. And we got Jade Cargill's return, who kicked the absolute dog shit out of Naomi at the beginning of the match. So Jade Cargill is back. She went after Naomi. So we got Jade Cargill returning. We got Randy Orton returning in the aftermath of the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match. And John Cena turning heel all in the same night. Whew. What it must feel like to be a Canadian, to be at that arena live tonight, because this was the defining show, in my opinion. Outside of WrestleMania 40, this was the defining show of the Triple H administration thus far. And I don't know if you guys are excited as I am, but let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are, what you think is going to happen going into WrestleMania, because business is about to pick up. And signing off is Austin.